anti-terrorist operation, Colonel Andriy Lysenko, with the latest from the anti-terrorist operation zone. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. The situation in the zone of the anti-terrorist operation is characterized with the preserving of a high intensity of shellings by the gunmen of the positions of the anti-terrorist operation forces, and also combat and active subversive actions along the demarcation line on the objects of infrastructure and the roads. The intensity of challenge in the vicinity of Debaltseve has diminished to a degree. However, the situation in Luhansk and Mariupol directions remains disturbing, and after numerous shells from different kinds of weapons, the gunmen tried to assault Ukrainian strongholds and road checkpoints next to Ritkodub in Donetsk region and Mius in Luhansk region. The gunmen have 5 times shelled our positions from Grad, multiple rocket launchers. All the attacks by bandits were repelled. Yesterday, from the side of Sakhanka, the Russian mercenaries have shelled from Grad batteries the location of the border guards unit and control point next to Sartana settlement. They have launched almost 40 projectiles from Grad. There are no losses among our border guards. From the 4th to 5th of February, the Ukrainian military have killed 60 gunmen, destroyed 4 enemy tanks and 2 self-propelled artillery units. Next to Bryanka, Luhansk region, the anti-terrorist operation forces have exploded 7 storages of ammunition that belong to the gunmen. In the vicinity of settlement Sokolniki, the anti-terrorist operation forces have liquidated, together with their crews, 2 mortars and lorries where those mortars were mounted, and 1 infantry battle vehicle was destroyed together with the crew. The Ukrainian artillery employs counter-battery fight, and this lowers to the minimum the efficiency of gunmen's shelling of our positions. Also, the Ukrainian anti-aircraft defense has downed a enemy drone over Tarasivka and Beresivka Donetsk region. Over the last 24 hours, 2 Ukrainian military were killed and 26 wounded. According to the information from the advisor of the Ministry of Interior, Zoran Shkiryak, there was a preliminary agreement about the organization of corridor for evacuation of peaceful residents from Debaltseve. However, during the night, the gunmen have 3 times shelled the town from mortars and Grad batteries. So we think that new armed provocations are possible. Yesterday, 8 Ukrainian military were freed from captivity. They were exchanged for 9 detained members of illegal armed formations, according to the principle everybody for everybody. Next to the Berdyansk border detachment, we detected the air reconnaissance by the Russian helicopter Mi-8. However, they did not cross the administrative border between Kherson region and the Autonomous Republic of Crimea. In the vicinity of Avdiivka, a subversive group of an armed illegal formation is shelling the positions of the anti-terrorist operation forces and residential blocks of flats masked as fighters of Aidar Battalion. We inform you that Aidar Battalion is serving in Luhansk region, and not a single military serviceman is in the vicinity of Avdiivka. Gunmen and Russian mercenaries try to sow panic among the peaceful population of Donbass, and they disseminate information about the massive shelling of Mariupol on the 5th and 6th of February. They call the mobile phones of Mariupol residents on behalf of DNR and call on them to leave the city. The Ukrainian law enforcers have detained a enemy character of fire next to Debaltsevo. During the search, some things necessary for subversive activity were found at him. Next to Kiev, in the forest and the settlement of Bekivnya, a load of arms, including grenade launchers, 20 grenades, and boxes with ammunition, also self-made explosive devices were found. This was meant to be used to shell the building of the Parliament of Ukraine and create provocation to destabilize the situation in Kiev. They also had some propaganda product of anti-Ukrainian contents, including the banners or flags of Russia. Yesterday, the workers of the State Emergency Service have evacuated from Avdiivka, Debaltsevo, and Olkhovatka 376 people, including 40 children. In order to meet people who are being taken away from the dangerous zone in Donetsk region, the State Emergency Service organized points of meeting points at railway stations in Slovyansk and Konstantinovka, where they will get information, medical, and other help, as well as psychological support. Also, the State Emergency Service, together with volunteers, has organized the evacuation of 80 people from the cities of Luhansk region that are being shelled by the members of illegal armed formation. The Ukrainian, because of combat action becoming more active, there's a continuing evacuation of peaceful residents from Marinka and Krasnohorivka, together by volunteers and the military. The group of civil and military cooperation of armed forces of Ukraine have, for the second day running, delivered humanitarian cargo to Krasnohorivka, including food and warm things. And our volunteer helpers from Mariupol, together with Ukrainian officers, have brought to Krasnohorivka baby food and hygienic means. And this help was given to families with little children.
The Ukrainians are supporting the military who are defending the territorial integrity of Ukraine. The volunteers are sending food products, medications, hygiene means, warm clothes, mask nets, and also the night vision device, the money for which were raised during the charity concert. Odessa volunteers are making masking costumes for servicemen of the armed forces of Ukraine. According to the activists, they were previously helping Ukrainian troops only materially, and now decided to make the things needed for servicemen. They buy the clothes for the uniforms for their own money. In Dnipropetrovsk region, the students of Children Rehabilitation Center supported the action Come Back Alive, and they visited the wounded people who are in the military hospital. They brought to them the talismans made by themselves and wrote their own verses. Also, the school children of the city create the exposition dedicated to the courage and the bravery of Ukrainian servicemen. The students, teachers, and volunteers were creating this exposition. Very often, the participants of ATO come to that museum and talk about the exhibits during when they are in rotation. The servicemen very often are invited by children to visit their open lessons. The citizens of Nikopol also are helping the participants of ATO. This week, the local volunteers ordered 6 sleeping bags, 4 winter uniforms, 6 winter foods, and 10 tactical vests. The total amount spent for that was 11,500 hryvnias. The world supports Ukrainian army and peaceful citizens in the east of Ukraine. 4 servicemen returned from Lithuania from medical treatment. At the same time, 3 more wounded went to rehabilitation to Vilnius. The Council of Lithuanian Republic in Dnipropetrovsk, Vitaly Pivniak, stated that during the year, every month, 4-5 Ukrainian wounded servicemen will be sent to Lithuania for treatment. All the costs for treatment, rehabilitation, and accommodation will be covered by Lithuanian side. Besides that, Lithuanian assistance in the form of medical equipment and medication arrived to Dnipropetrovsk. Antibiotics and plastic containers for blood storage were transferred to the regional hospital named after Mechnikova, and the military hospital received the X-ray portable device. The total mass of this is 1 ton. On the 5th of February, the humanitarian mission from Italy came to Slavyansk. By this mission, Italians are expressing their support and solidarity to Ukrainian people. And the humanitarian assistance includes clothes, toys for children, including for orphan children from the orphanages of Konstantinovka, Drushkivka, and Slavyansk, and also clothes and medication for civilians and the servicemen. The total load of that is 3.5 tons of clothes and medications, which were collected in Italy by Association Italy-Ukraine Maidan. Because of many registered facts of participation in battles in Donbass of Russian servicemen, we demonstrate the map where we enumerate the titles and insignia of the units of armed forces of the main intelligence department of Russian Federation. These are the well-known 76th Division from Pskov, 18th Brigade from Chechnya, 3rd Brigade from Ulyanovsk, and many others. To avoid speculations, we would like to emphasize that insignia on the map do not correspond to the real dislocation of Russian occupational contingent, and they are here just for you to see. The map is made based on the gathered documentary materials. You can get this map after the briefing. Thank you. Your questions, please. Now your questions, dear colleagues. About the corridor from Debaltseva, do you have any more detailed information? It was mentioned that from 9 to 5 the ceasefire will be there, and the peaceful citizens can leave this place. Is it safe for them to leave this area? According to our information, we don't have the information about what's happening there right now, but after yesterday evening, there was this information about the corridor, about the initiative of the Donetsk Republic to create conditions for local citizens to leave it. You see that they were shelling from grads at night. They were probably cleaning this corridor this way. So we do not exclude any provocations. We do hope that this redislocation, moving our citizens to secure territories, will be taking place without any provocations. Or any unexpected attacks from terrorists. Our side will be doing everything to do it all as quick as possible. It was mentioned that people who got trophies will be awarded. Is this mechanism working? Will it start working? Motivation component in the conflict in the east of Ukraine, whose initiator is the government of Ukraine, has been announced already. I understand that there are that's being finalized, but whatever our servicemen hit, eliminate, for that Ukrainian servicemen will get a monetary remuneration. Do you have any other questions, dear colleagues? Thank you. Colleagues, thank you. One clarification as to this map that you have presented. You saw the first version. We will start disseminating it. We will provide it to you in a few days. Thank you.